was having a great day so far. Here in Colorado, it's in the 80s. Mostly dry heat, but it's a nice day just to enjoy just nature. Going live is part of just my commitment to going live until I'm monetized. Today, I did get a few more subscribers overnight, so I went from 192 to 205. So, any new subscribers and current subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Really appreciate your support there. I did also create another YouTube channel that's just focusing just on waterfalls. So if you'd like to subscribe to that channel name is Waterfall Chase. I believe it's Waterfall Chaser. Yeah, Waterfall Chaser is that second YouTube channel that I have. I started it about 6 days ago. I'm currently at 53 subscribers on that channel, so it's been a great week so far with that channel. So if you're someone who just want to see nice waterfalls, that would be the channel for you as well. Um, Got some good news today from my government role opportunity. Should be getting it in my inbox possibly tomorrow. So I will be moving to San Diego, California, within the next few weeks. So I'm very excited about that opportunity and the fact that they stated today that it'll be an additional salary than the initial offer that I was provided last week. So I'm very excited about that new journey in my life. But I'm more excited about the places that I'm gonna get to hike. It's been a long time coming. I will say with life, everything hasn't been perfect for me. But I will say here that I've stood the test of time. I kept smiling through the process and just had the faith that everything was going to work out, and it has. Speaking of California, usually I'm in California mostly during football season. I am a season ticket holder for the 49ers, so I faithfully go to all of the home games, but I also, for the last 2 years, I've been going to road games as well. So I'm an avid 49er fan, diehard, bang bang Niner gang supporter. But the California hikes that's I'm going to be hitting up within the next probably within the next month or two is going to be epic. Again, I'm me transitioning to Cali in a few weeks is going to give me the ability to hit the national parks that I've been wanting to hit for years. Joshua Tree, the Lassens Volcanic Park, um, Kings Canyon, the Channels, and I believe there's a couple more in Cali that I'm definitely going to hit when I get there. So I'm very excited about that opportunity. Yeah, I guess I do look like you, Ice Cube, but I'm excited about the opportunities there. So if you're new to my channel, I'm someone who loves to sightsee and hike throughout the year. Currently, I've been to 15 national parks out of 63. I've been to 40 states out of the 50. And I've had just fun throughout my whole life. I enjoy going from city to city, state to state, and just tasting the town, seeing exactly what the culture is for the area, tasting the cuisines that they have there, and then if there's any places to hike or to sightsee, that's what I've been doing. Been doing that for the last 20 plus years. Um, right after high school, I did go in the military for 8 years with the Army. I was stationed at Fort Benning. I was part of three combat tours, Operation Enduring Freedom One, then Operation Iraqi Freedom One, Operation Iraqi Freedom Three. Definitely felt good about fighting for this country and providing a lot of good support for the regions that we were deployed to. Far as national parks that I've gone to, I started at Yosemite National Park. Was the very first place I went in 2016. Had a lot of good fun there. Got a chance to see Yosemite Falls, Half Dome, and I believe a few more trails that was there. Then I went to Zion National Park that following year, and I love Zion National Park for a lot of reasons. Just the proximity to the hotels that's within a mile or two of the park. Very friendly people there. A lot of good restaurants. A lot of good trails there. Just a lot of good things to sightsee. Bryce Canyon was another national park that I've gone to. Um, Wonderful views. It is a very unique place. Usually, if you go to Bryce Canyon, you're hiking from the top, um, and then going down the mountain to the valleys to see the sights. It's not too many national parks have that type of setup. Most national parks, you're literally just hiking up the mountains to get to the different trailheads. So that was a very unique place that I went to visit. Um, Went to Grand Canyon as well. That's not too far from Zion and Bryce Canyon. Very nice place to visit. They do have a lot of platforms there. So if you're someone who's afraid of heights, you can go there and on certain trailheads. There are platforms that you can get better views. I'm doing well today. Hope you're doing well as well, Cora. Um, at the Grand Canyons, I went to Grand Tetons. That was a national park that I didn't have on my radar. I actually added it in because it's the proximity to Yellowstone National Park. So it was a an amazing trip to Grand Tetons. I was there for about 2 days. I went to Jenny Lake. I did the Taggart trailhead in which I hiked Bradley Lake and Lee Lake. High Dizer. I hope I pronounced your name wrong. I mean, you're right. Um, Hi Suzuki as well. Um, I hiked Bradley Lake, Lee Lake, Inspiration Point, Hidden Falls, Jenny Lake, and I went to the Chapel of the Sacred Souls, which is a great uh, experience to check out the chapel, and then it's a nice lakeside view behind it. Then I went to the Jackson Lake Dam, which is a nice, peaceful dam in which you can get on a platform on both sides of the road and see those flows there. There's a few other places I didn't get a chance to go to when I was there, which is the barn. That's like one of the most scenic places to visit there. So on my way back to Grand Tetons, I will ensure that I go there. After the 2 days at Grand Tetons, I did go to Yellowstone. If you don't know, Yellowstone is about 55 miles away from Grand Tetons. It's pretty much, if you take the South Gate, you can get to Yellowstone probably within an hour or so. Hi, Cherry Monkey. Thanks for joining the live. Um, and when I got to Yellowstone, I went straight to Old Faithful. The good thing about the Old Faithful trailhead, there's probably about 40 to 50 different geysers there. The Old Faithful trailhead connects to the upper basin in the West Thumb, in which you can see other geysers while you're there. So, what stood out to me at Old Faithful was I love blue is my favorite color, and I got a chance to see a lot of great shimmering blue geysers. The gem pool was a great geyser. It literally looked like a small swimming pool with a glacier of blue color. The abyss was a nice blue color. The Archimist was another shimmering blue geyser. But the geyser that stood out the most to me was Sapphire. pools. Sapphire pools was an amazing amazing scene. It's pretty much a nice long shimmering blue structure in which if you can look down into it, and it's pretty much it goes down probably a few feet um, up there. You got a lot of great. Being that Yellowstone is pretty much a place full of volcanic structures, most geysers they're some erupt daily. So when you go to the Old Faithful Trailhead, it would pretty much let you know exactly the last time that geyser erupted and if it's slated to erupt today, and it'll give you an approximate time of when it will erupt. Now there are geysers at Yellowstone that erupt throughout the day, like it's an ongoing eruption throughout. So they normally will tell you to just stay to the wooded path to ensure that you don't get burnt. But some of those geysers that erupt all the time, you still feel some mist from those geysers that's erupting. But it is an amazing place to go. Got a chance to see Old Faithful erupt near the end of my day there. That was great. And the good thing about the Old Faithful geyser, they do have benches and like football benches and different seats there, so you can sit there and enjoy seeing Old Faithful erupt. Normally, it will erupt for probably about 2 to 3 minutes. And it shoots up in the air. It's an amazing view of Old Faithful and what it does. Um, So it's definitely a sight to see. Another thing about visiting Old Faithful is the geyser scent, the smell of it. If you're someone who may have maybe stumped up or just have something going on with your sinuses or anything else, once you go to Old Faithful Trailhead, all your sinuses will be cleared up. I don't know what it is about the sense of the geysers and the volcanic fumes, but it would clear up your sinuses within minutes. And that scent would probably most likely be in your nostrils for probably probably a week or so. There, it's a very unique scent there, and but other than just the scent of the volcanic fumes. It's a definitely a good place to visit. Right after the Old Faithful Trailhead, I did drive down to the Grand Prismatic Spring to see that. That's a huge landscape of a volcanic structure that pretty much have shimmering views. It has yellowish, reddish, bluish, just different colorways there, and you can see the steams coming up from the ground up, and that's an amazing place to visit. But also the elixir, elixir something. That's also another huge geyser, but what I like about that one is it's baby blue, and it almost looked like cloud structures are coming up from the volcanic structure from it. So it's pretty much a baby blue geyser with that's constantly erupting. You'll see fumes coming up from it throughout. It's almost like you're sitting looking at the sky and the clouds are just forming in front of you. Um, an amazing viewpoint seeing those two geysers. But if you want a better viewpoint of the the Grand Prismatic Spring, then if you take the Fairy Falls Trailhead and just hike up that mountainside, you'll be able to see the Grand Prismatic Spring from the mountain view, and it also has a platform up there. It's a great view. I did not hike that on that particular day, but I did see a lot of people hiking it, and then I saw a lot of people at that platform area up there on the mountainside taking pictures of it. I've seen a lot of videos and pictures of the Grand Prismatic Spring from that higher viewpoint. it looks amazing because it's pretty much yellow, green, blue, and orange. Different shades of it. It's almost like looking into a rainbow, but looking down with fumes coming out of it. So it's definitely an amazing structure to see. So after Yellowstone, the next park that I visited was Glacier National Park. Glacier is a very unique park. If you're someone who love to see scenic views, love the color blue, or the color green or turquoise, that's this is going to be the national park for you because most of the lakes that's there are pretty much shades of blue, turquoise, or green, and it's common flows throughout. The waterfalls that stood out to me while I visited Glacier National Park was the Barron Falls. That's on the St. Mary Falls trailhead, in which you can do Pig and Pass, Sun Point, Barron Falls, Virginia Falls, and St. Mary Falls. So when I got to the St. Mary's Falls trailhead, I hiked to Sun Point, which is it gives you an amazing viewpoint of pretty much a crystal clear bluish green lake that's flowing from the mountainside. As you proceed down Sun Point, you will see an area that has like a coastline in which you can pretty much see the waves come to the shore, and it's crystal clear water there. And it has a couple of decks in which you can just observe the mountain views on your left hand side and the flow of the water as it transitions from crystal clear water to turquoise greenish blue color. An amazing viewpoint. After I left Barron Falls, I did go to after I left Sun Point, I went to Barron Falls. So Barron Falls is a waterfall that pretty much comes down from the mountainside, but at an angle. It pretty much the water comes slanted and then comes down. A lot of people who visit Barron Falls pretty much just sit there. It's a lot of places in which you can sit under the tree or just stand by the waterfall. And that water coming from the waterfall was crystal clear. And then below the waterfall is different color rocks. Which, if you go to Glacier, you see a mix of unique um, nature. So you'll see different color rocks, whether it's green, blue, green, blue, beige, orange, burgundy, and you'll see different shades of water as it's flowing through the mountainside. So Barron Falls is definitely a good place to visit. It's pretty much a couple mile hike along the Pig and Pass trailhead to get to Barron Falls and Sun Point. But my favorite moments took place at St. Mary Falls. So St. Mary Falls is probably the one of the biggest, most visited places at Glacier National Park because of the pretty much the structure of it. So you have a waterfall that's coming from the mountainside that's turquoise blue, bluish green, and there's a huge bridge there that most people that would just sit at the bridge and just take pictures of the waterfall behind them and then just look at the flow of the waterfall in front of them. But probably about 10% of the tourists that go to St. Mary's Falls, they jump off the bridge. It's pretty much a good place that most people just jump off of. It's probably about a 10-foot drop if you jump from the bridge. Other people would just climb down the rock structure and just tread water there. Or on the upper side of the waterfall, there's other rock structures in which you can just chill beside the waterfall or just enjoy the viewpoints there. I will say just to be careful when you go to St. Mary's Falls. I believe someone drowned there a couple weeks ago. So if you're going to St. Mary's Falls, just use your discretion as it relates to jumping off a bridge or just deciding to swim there. Um, it seems like the water is cold there throughout the year in Montana, so it doesn't matter when you go to Glacier National Park. I believe it's going to be cold water regardless, but it is a breathtaking. It definitely has a lot of great breathtaking views at St. Mary's Falls. Having the waterfalls come from the mountainside and then just it's almost like a pinball machine. It would go from the mountainside, then go this way, then go this way, like creating a Z from the mountain flows. So it is a definitely a good place to visit. If you do have more time in the day, you can hike up to Virginia Falls. Virginia Falls is about, I believe it's another a mile, maybe two to 3 miles up from St. Mary's Falls. It's not quite a strenuous hike. It's mostly uphill, and depending on when you're hiking, it could possibly be a muddy trailhead because there's the flow from the Virginia Falls leads to other types of waterfall streams from that mountainside. So you'll see another two or three sets of falls as you're hiking up to Virginia Falls, but this is all Virginia Falls. But as you get up to the top of Virginia Falls, this is definitely a unique waterfall as well because the waterfall is coming straight from the top of the mountainside and just pouring straight down. So it's almost like the water flow that's coming down is as if someone just turned on the shower and the water just coming down at a constant flow. What I like about Virginia Falls is a lot of great places that you can take pictures at up there. A lot of rocks, a lot of flat rock structures, in which some people will just swim out there for a little bit, or they'll just sit in the waterfall and just get drenched. And then there's a couple places in which you would have walked a few feet up from the waterfall that a lot of people pose just to get the waterfall picture from behind them. So it's a nice little view point there. So if you ever go to Glacier National Park and you go to the St. Mary's Falls trailhead, the four hikes that most people will consider doing would be Sun Point, Barron Falls, St. Mary's Falls, and Virginia Falls. After a few hours there, I did proceed to back down going to Sun Road, which again, going to the Sun Road is a very scenic drive. You got a lot of mountain views as you're going up, and a lot of mountain views as you're coming down. Just know it is a very narrow road with drop offs. So, a lot of people who go to Glacier National Park to even get to the going to Sun Road, you got to have a time entry reservation. So, what that means is you have to go to recreation.gov and purchase a time entry reservation slot for the going to the Sun Road. If you don't have a reservation, if you don't purchase the reservation, I believe it's like $2 for it. You won't be able to get into the going to the Sun Road. So the only way that you can get to the going to Sun Road without a time entry reservation would be to enter the park before 5 a.m. Um, that way, you're there before the park rangers get there, and you have pretty much free flow to drive up to the going to Sun Road. So after St. Mary's Falls, I proceeded to Logan Pass. Logan Pass has a lot of great scenic views as well. They do have the Glacier souvenir shop is there. It's a nice upstairs souvenir shop where you can get t-shirts, cups, maps, just things that tourists purchase. You can get that all there. But at Logan Pass, you can pretty much get to Hidden Lake, and Hidden Lake is definitely a gem at Glacier National Park. It's a great scenic view there. The hike could be kind of strenuous. It is pretty much level headed until you get near Hidden Lake, in which you have to hike up the whole time. There is a waterfall probably en route to Hidden Lake that has a nice wildflower feel. So depending on what time of the year you go to Glacier National Park, you may be able to see that feel of wildflowers that complement the waterfall that's there. It's pretty much a waterfall that's permeating through a hillside. It's a very unique structure, wonderful view point of it there. But as you get to Hidden Lake, there is a nice mountainside view there with the lake below it. I had the pleasure of running into two mountain goats while I was there. Both of those goats were very friendly. But as you know, when you go into national parks, it's not a good idea to think that all pets are friendly. So if you see any animals at any national park, I would just advise you just to be careful. Don't walk up to animals assuming everything is fine, especially animals that may have um, their offsprings with them because they're going to be very protective of their offspring. So, but back to the hike. Like I said, it's probably a moderate hike to get to Hidden Lake at Logan Pass. But it's definitely worth the hike up and the views there. It began to rain a little bit and drizzle and thunderstorm while I was there. When I hiked back to my car, I pretty much was gonna go back to my hotel, but I decided to sneak in two more trails. At least I thought I was gonna sneak in two more trails. So I drove up to where Avalanche Lake was, because that was probably my second place that I really wanted to visit. Um, that drawn me to Glacier National Park, and I took the quick detour to the Trail of the Cedars, which is a nice, wonderful loop of cedar trees. They do have a nice waterfall that's also within the Trail of the Cedars. So it's definitely a place that's worth visiting. That waterfall is definitely breathtaking. Um, Constant flows, violent flows, I would say, there. And when I went there, it's kind of muddy along the trail. That Trail of the Cedars is pretty much it's a wooden loop trailhead that pretty much has a wooden path with armed guards on both sides, so you can pretty much walk that platform around the loop and be fine. It's not a bad trail. It's level the whole time. So after Trail of the Cedars, I decided to continue forward to Avalanche Lake, which was about I believe 3 miles from there. But I never made it to Avalanche Lake. A thunderstorm hit um, maybe 45 minutes into my hike. I did meet some people who just came from Avalanche Lake, and they stated to me, if you go there, I hope you got swimming gear because it's definitely worth the dive. It's definitely a good place to swim and just relax. Is what they told me. Also, is what I saw. A lot of people that were online stated that if you go to Avalanche Lake, definitely make sure you have your swimming gear because it's definitely worth the dip. Unfortunately, because of the thunderstorm, I did not get a chance to go to Avalanche Lake. And because of the weather forecast for that current day and the following day, I decided when I went back to my hotel that I was not going to go back to Glacier because that particular day I did hike about 15 miles, and I think it might have been 16 miles. And the weather for the following day was worse than the day that I went hiking there. So my glacier trip was just it was a 2 day trip, but just a a day trip on one day, and I just rest and recovered the next day and just chilled out in Casabel for the other day. Went to a couple restaurants and just sightsee while I was there. So if you have the ability to go to Glacier National Park, the trails I would suggest would be the Sun Point Trail, the Barron Falls Trail, St. Mary's Falls Trail, Virginia Falls Trail, the Glenelg Trail as well. Did get a chance to do that hike, but I will in my next visit. Trail of the Cedars and Avalanche Lake. Um, those are probably the most common places that you'll get a good bang for your buck. In addition to going to the Sun Road, because you won't be able to go to any of those trailheads without that reservation for going to the Sun Road or just getting in the park before 5. So just make sure that if you're going to visit not only Glacier National Park, but any national park, if you don't have a time entry reservation, you may not be able to get to certain parts of the park. If you have your annual pass, that may get you into the main gate, but some may still require a time entry reservation. So I know while I'm here in Colorado, it's been 9 to 2 p.m. That if you don't have a time entry reservation, you won't be able to get into the entry of the park until at least 2 p.m. unless you come to the park before 9. And then most people when they come here will go to Bear Lake. Bear Lake requires a time entry as well, and with Bear Lake, it's pretty much 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. I mean 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you don't have a time entry reservation, even if you get through the main entry gate, you won't be able to get into Bear Lake without that time entry pass, unfortunately, on that end. So just prep for that. Another place that I visited while I was here was the Brainerd Rec area. It's part of the Roosevelt National Forest. So when I went there, I hiked two different places. I did the Long Lake Trailhead and I did the Lake Mitchell Trailhead, or the Mitchell Lake Trailhead. So the Long Lake Trailhead includes Long Lake, and Lake Isabel, but you can also continue hiking to Isabel Gorge, and I believe it's a couple other trailheads that has a lot of great views as well. Depending on how far you want to hike, the Lake Isabel, and the Long Lake trailheads are pretty much pretty much about 6 miles round trip, about 3 miles, a little over 3 miles there, and a little over 3 miles back. There is a loop with the Gene Lonning loop, in which if you take that trailhead, that'll take you to Lake Isabel, and you'll get some other decent views along that trailhead. And on the opposite side of the loop, you'll see Lake Isabel. After I did the Long Lake trailhead, I proceeded to Mitchell Lake, in which my goal was to see Mitchell Lake and Blue Lake. That trailhead there, it's going to be roughly, I want to say about 7 miles round trip. Mitchell Lake and Blue Lake, I will say this: after you start the trailhead, you may see the you may see a couple signs for Mitchell Lake, but after that, you won't see anything for Mitchell or Blue Lake at all. So just be mindful on that trailhead that if you're going to Blue Lake and Mitchell Lake, that you'll have to get off the trail to go to Mitchell Lake and go and just take a certain um, trail prints to get to Mitchell. They do have a couple cubby holes in which you can check out the viewpoints of Mitchell Lake. You should get to Mitchell Lake probably within a mile a mile and a half of starting that trailhead. But from there, I will say this: if you're someone who may not be in the best shape, or someone that's critical of just certain parts of nature, or climbing up rock structures and quarries, hiking up the Blue Lake may be a place that you may want to prep for. I know myself, I wouldn't consider myself an expert hiker. I would probably say I'm probably 3/4 of the way to being a expert hiker, probably in the middle of moderate and being an expert. But I will say that was probably one of the most strenuous hikes that I've had. That hike from Mitchell Lake to Blue Lake, because it was a constant uphill battle. I believe it could be nearly a 12,000, a 12K, 12K peak type of hike. If you proceed a little further, you can get up to a 13K peak hike. But it's a lot of uphills, terrain. When I hiked there a couple weeks ago, I pretty much had to hike through about 7 to 8 different snowfields. Um, Most were sometimes 3 feet high snowfields, and not too many drop offs there. So I would say once you continue on the hike, the drop offs are few and between. There's only a couple drop offs that's up there. The good thing about that Mitchell Lake and Blue Lake Trail is there are about about 5 to 6 different waterfalls along that trailhead. Um, you'll see you'll see one waterfall just prior to Mitchell Lake, and then you'll see another waterfall probably about a half a mile or another mile past Mitchell Lake. They're both they both have bridges, so you can pretty much observe the views of the waterfall on both sides of the bridge. And you also can climb down to get closer viewpoints of those waterfalls. But as you proceed up to Blue Lake, there's a massive waterfall that flows for at least 2 miles worth of just waterfalls. It just keeps on connecting and going around different curves of the mountains. What I liked about that hike was there was still snow on the mountain and parts of the waterfalls that's leading to Blue Lake, to the point in which when the snow was on the mountain, it didn't stop the water flow. So the water flow it made a way through the snow to continue to flow. I posted a few of those videos on my YouTube channel. It's very fascinating there. So on my channel here, which is traveling with promise, with two L's, traveling with promise with two L's. Um, there's a lot of great long form videos that I have for Blue Lake and Mitchell Lake, and a few shorts. But it was definitely amazing, like a crystal blue water flows throughout that mountainside, and just seeing the snow how the water flowed through the snow to maintain the waterfall flow was amazing. There's a huge, like a staircase waterfall to the left before, when you're about a half a mile to Blue Lake. When you look up, you'll see a huge staircase waterfall. It's it's one of the most amazing views that I've ever seen. Um, if I happen to go back to Blue Lake, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna hike back up, but see if I can cross over to get closer to that waterfall, because that waterfall structure is amazing. I took a couple of videos of that as well and a couple of pictures, but the videos and the pictures didn't give any justice. I can't. It's hard for me to describe that flow, because where the staircase of the mountain, of the staircase of the waterfall was, above it was the other side of the waterfall. but it was snow above that staircase waterfall. So you'll see literally snow and then water shooting through the snow, and then more snow and then water shooting through the snow again, and it's just flowing through. It was like snow waterfall, and just seeing that unbelievable flow was amazing. It's hard even to describe what I saw, but when I finally got to Blue Lake, it was pretty much a frozen lake at that point. There was icebergs across the whole lake, but some parts of the lake was cleared up, so you could actually look down into the lake and see the iceberg below the lake too. And you can also look down and see the different hues of blue. It was like a blue, greenish, different color forms. There is also a waterfall that's part of Blue Lake that permeates also through the mountain structure. But unfortunately, with the snow being on the mountainside, I don't even know if it's a way to even get across to that waterfall because it's pretty much rock quarries along both sides of the lake. So I'm not even sure you can get as close as you can to seeing it, but it was a it was worth the hike. It was definitely a place in which I really enjoyed the hike. It was a hike that was definitely tough. I'm not going to say that the hike was easy. I'm not going to say it's a hike that anyone could do. I will say that when I got up there, I pretty much had the mountain to myself. It was coming. I started that hike a little after 2 p.m. and I got up to Blue Lake right after 4 p.m. My goal was just to hang out there for about 30, 40 minutes because the forecast did say between 5 and 6 p.m. that it was going to have some not snow showers, but some rain showers. And with the cloud structures up there, it did begin to drizzle a little bit and lost a lot of sunlight up there on the mountainside. So I was able to get some good pictures and videos with the sun, and then the clouds came over around the mountain, but it did clear up just a little bit before I headed out. So I was able to get a few more videos and a few more pictures of just the mountainside with the snow and everything else there. So that was a great place to go. Probably my most favorite place to visit so far was the Wild Basin on Trailhead. It's also part of the Rocky Mountain National Park, and it also requires a time entry reservation. So if you get to the park before 9 a.m., then you won't need the reservation. You can just drive through the gate. Once you get to that gate, there is another 2 miles just to get to the parking lot for Copeland Falls. It is a very rough road. It's also a very narrow road. So certain parts of that road from the gate to the trailhead, you have to let the person that's coming out the park let them pass or pull to the side because some parts of that road is very narrow at the Wild Basin Trailhead. So just be careful that when you go to Rocky Mountain National Park at the Wild Basin Trailhead, that you have the time reservation because you will need that time into reservation between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. Anytime before or after that, you're good to go. But the star of the show when I went there was Copeland Falls. It's hard to describe the feeling of euphoria at Copeland Falls. They have an upper and a lower falls area there, a very violent flow of water. And it was amazing viewpoints from the lower falls as well as the upper falls. I believe I like the upper falls a little better because as you continue to hike along the trailhead, Copeland Falls goes for a good mile and a half before you get to Calypso Cascades. And it's just a wonderful viewpoint. Crystal clear water. It's all flowing through rocks, and you have so many vantage points that you can take pictures and videos as part of the Copeland Falls hike. To it's not even funny. So I probably took about 40 to 50 different videos while I was at Copeland Falls, and countless pictures en route to Calypso Cascades. The Calypso Cascades is probably my favorite waterfall so far in life. It's a towering waterfall. So, like if you're looking at me now, or you look straight up, it's pretty much a waterfall that's coming down, that's flowing through wood, rocks. It's a very unique waterfall, a towering waterfall with just peaceful flows. There's a big, huge log that's in the middle of the Callisto Cascades. So if you're someone who's very picturesque, you can pretty much trek across that huge log that's across the Callisto Cascades, and you can have someone take a picture. There's a bridge there, so you can observe the waterfall on both sides of the bridge. But you can have someone take a picture of you from the bridge along that long log if you have someone with you. It's definitely worth the hike. I had a an amazing time at the Cascades Callisco's. I mean the Callisco Cascades. Took a lot of videos and pictures as well. Um, as you know, all the pictures and videos that I take are part of my YouTube channel, which is Traveling with Promise. Traveling would be with two L's. Um, it's a page in which I pretty much list all the places that I've gone so far, my hiking adventures, the waterfalls that I chase, any sightseeing places that I've gone so far, and even football games during the 49 season. So if you're someone who's into seeing a good amount of waterfalls, lakes, rivers, seeing someone just hike through nature, places that I've been for sightseeing, and just sports as a whole, you'll see it all on this page. So definitely, I think right now I have about 750 different videos thus far on my page, mostly of hiking. That includes a good amount of waterfalls, rivers, and lakes, and then different trailheads with good mountain views there. So this is definitely a good channel to see waterfalls, rivers, lakes, and different hiking adventures that I've been a part of. Right at the Callisto Cascades, I did proceed up to Ouzo Falls. That's a nice waterfall structure as well. It's about another mile and a half or 2 miles up from the Callisto Cascades. It's a waterfall that comes down at an angle again, and then it just permeates downward there. It was definitely a great hike. It was mostly uphill from the Callisto Cascades, so not a strenuous hike. But if you're hiking up to the Ozell Falls, just make sure that you're just watching how you hike, because the road, the hike, the hiking path can be kind of upward. Got some rock structures and some other items there. Just gotta watch out for while you're hiking. There is the Uzo Lake is right above it. I believe it's another mile and a half from the Uzo Falls, but on that particular day, it was scheduled to rain again later on in the afternoon. So I stopped my trail at the Uzo Falls. So if you ever visit a wild basin trailhead, you do have other hikes there. You have the you have the sand. I think it's the Sand Beach Trailhead that a lot of people go to. Is actually a beach that you can hike to. I believe it's about 7 miles round trip. Just a secluded hike. You also have Pear Lake and Finch Lake as well. As I was driving up to the trailhead, I saw a big, huge moose that was literally in the parking lot of the Peach and Finch trailhead. So I did take a short video and a couple pictures of it. I wish I could have got to a stopping point quicker because the moose was literally in the parking lot area, and then proceeded along the Peach and the Finch trailhead. I've seen I've seen mooses on video, on not video, but on TV before and on pictures. But seeing a real life moose in person, that moose was huge. It was almost the size of a camel. So as you know, when you're on a hike, you don't walk up to animals. So I stood in my car from a distance and then took a couple of videos and a couple of pictures and then proceeded to the trailhead. So Wild Basin, just a summary of it, does require time entry reservation. As long as you get there before 9 or after 2, that lets you through the gate with no problems. And then the most common hikes there are Copeland Falls, Upper and Lower, the Cascades, the Callisto Cascades, and the Ouzel Falls. So those are the three main waterfalls at the Wild Basin. But you can proceed further to Ouzel Lake on that trailhead, or if you park at the trailhead before Copeland, you can do Pear Lake and Finch Lake, and I think it's a couple more lakes that's part of it. Those are so the Pear and Finch lakes are long hikes. So if you were to proceed on any of those hikes, I believe those hikes are more than likely, I think it's 12 to 15 miles round trip, depending on which hike you do. So it won't be for the faint of heart. So if you're someone who just want to see some great views at the Wild Basin Trailhead at Rocky Mountain National Park, I would say just park at the Copeland Trailhead. Um, the parking lot is pretty. It's a decent size, but it can get crowded throughout the day. But if you park at the Copeland Falls Trailhead, you pretty much can get the Copeland Upper and Lower Falls, the Callisto Cascades, and Ouzel Falls for sure. And then if you want to hike a little bit more, you can hike up to Ouzel Lake. But that was pretty much my journey over the last couple weeks. So, what's next on the agenda? I did plan on going to Adams Falls and the Cascade Falls this past weekend, but had a change of plans. So, if I'm able to get to them, I'm going to try this week. They're both part of the East Inlet Trailhead, which is also part of the Rocky Mountain National Park. There are a lot of trails along the East Inlet trailheads. Most of those trails are 15 to 20 plus miles round trip. Most people who go to the East Inlet normally camp out. So with me, I do know I can park at the Adams Fall Trailhead and literally hike up a mile to get to Adams Falls, and I believe it's a couple more miles up to Cascades. So you can make the East Inlet a day hike trip, depending on where you want to hike while you're there. But someone that's like me that loves chasing waterfalls, I'm gonna more than likely just do Adams and Cascade Falls just to see more waterfalls to add to my chasing waterfall pretty much commentary that I have on my YouTube channel, which is Traveling with Promise. So if you're someone that loves outdoors, definitely like, comment, or subscribe to my Traveling with Promise page. I did make a second YouTube channel about a week ago, and the name of that channel is Waterfall Chaser. That channel is solely It's solely just me chasing waterfalls. So on that channel, you'll see a whole bunch of waterfall structures that I've chased so far. A lot of videos, shorts and long form videos of the different waterfalls that I've conquered so far. And in addition to waterfalls, you'll see a couple other trips that I went on that had great views, such as the Maldives and Big Sur in California. So, like I said, it's been a great. I'm 41 years old. It's been a great ride so far. I've had a chance to visit 25 different countries. The countries, just to name a few, I've went to Paris. I've gone to Bora Bora. I've gone to the Maldives. I've been to South Korea. I've been to Germany. I've been to Dubai. I've been to Colombo. I've been to China. I've been to Italy. I've been to Portugal. I've been to the Bahamas. Those ones that come to mind thus far. And I've been to 40 out of the 50 states so far. The remaining states that I have on the West Coast is Oregon. And Oregon, I haven't gone to yet. I haven't gone to New Mexico yet. Um, and then Mountainside, no, Mount Standard Time. I haven't been to North Dakota yet. Midwest, I haven't gone to Iowa or Nebraska. And then on the northeast side of the states, I have not gone to Maine. I haven't gone to New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I believe those are all the states I haven't gone to yet. So, being that my goal is to go to all national parks, I'm sure that I'll be able to knock out a few more states, if not this year, in the following years. But I'm pretty excited about life so far. So, the biggest thing I would tell everyone is this: don't give up on your dreams at all. I know when life happens, everything may not happen the way you want it to happen, but hang in there, keep praying, and just believe that everything's going to work out for you. I look at life as a trail. You may have some inclines, you may have some declines, but and you may have to rest at times. But when you do rest, get back up and keep proceeding forward until you get to the finish line. It may hurt you, you may be sore, but don't give up on anything you want to do in life. Whether it's hiking a trail, the job you want, the career you want, the things that you may like or want. Keep working hard, and it's gonna come to you. Just keep the faith up, and everything will work out the way you want it to work. And how I see it is this: I know I'm not perfect at all. I do have a small channel on YouTube, but I'm working hard to get to my short term goal of the 500 subscribers and my long term goal, which is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So me being at 204 subscribers so far, and just short of 2 months, it's an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment for me. I appreciate everyone who subscribed to my channel so far, all the likes and comments that you've had, as well as anyone who has subscribed so far. So continue to continue to come back to my channel. I will try my best to keep maintaining my uploads throughout each week. I have been maxing my uploads over the last few weeks to make sure that I've had the best content on that channel. But again, Traveling with Promise is my primary channel with all the places that I've visited so far. But if you're someone who's just into waterfalls, check out my other channel, which is Waterfall Chaser. And I have every waterfall that I've hiked so far. I do have more footage that I am uploading to that channel, but also to this channel. But over the last couple of days, I've gotten in tune with CapCut. So I did begin editing my videos. So my content, I want to be able to keep refining my content to add more substance to the thumbnails, as well as just the overall flow of the videos that I've uploaded. So stay tuned for that. I have uploaded, I believe, between yesterday and today. I did upload some new CapCut edit photos that looks pretty amazing so far. So my goal is to be one of the best content creators. I want to provide the best product to everyone at all times. So I'm gonna keep refining it to get to the finish line. I know if I do edit my photos, that may attract more people to the channel. So pretty much for the past month and a half, it's pretty much been just raw footage of waterfalls or just regular videos that I've captured. But the last 2 days, I have started editing videos with CapCut. So my products, my content will be getting better and better over the next week or two. And I will have a mixture of CapCut edits and just regular videos. That way, I'm not overloading all of my footage with just CapCut edits. So thank you so much for being a part of my live. If anyone wants to support my channel, any like, any comment, anyone who subscribes to my channel means a lot to me. So I appreciate any feedback that anyone has to offer for me. I just want to be successful and provide the best product that I can to YouTube. So I'm definitely someone who's gonna again continue to provide the best content for you and try to find a way to keep a smile on your face by checking out the channel. So I'm very excited about the future and what it has to offer me. So if you're also someone who's interested in supporting the channel, I do have a Cash App. My Cash App is Living with a Purpose 20. Living with a Purpose will be with a capital L and 20 on the end. It'll have my initials BP as my name on it on my Cash App. So again, thank you so much for your time. And again, I plan on going live every day until I'm monetized, just to provide some intimate moments with anyone on YouTube, but also to share some thoughts and ideas and what's going on so far in my life along this journey. So just to give an update before I close out, I've been uploading to YouTube since May 19th. I'm coming up on 2 months and about 11 days. I'm currently at 204 subscribers on my Traveling with Promise page. I'm definitely working towards getting to the necessary subscribers and the watch hours that I can to get to the first stage of monetization, which is the 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. So continue to support my channel. And again, if you're someone who enjoys hiking, seeing someone travel the world and just capture moments, I'm the channel for you. I'm Byron, and my channel is Traveling with Promise, and my second channel is Waterfall Chaser. Have a blessed day, and until next time, Godspeed.